Thank you, Peterson, for joining in. Uh, uh, Thank you. My name is Fonton Daniel. I will be speaking live here as we are in the process of rounding up the year. As we are in the process of rounding up the year, there is a fundamental questions that we will be asking vis-a-vis France, vis-a-vis Germany, vis-a-vis United States, vis-a-vis La Republique, neighboring country, vis-a-vis other the fundamental question of the Southern Cameroon. It is quite amazing how we are heading to another different year, 2019. And 2019 is is an odd year. But what do we have? There is a series of things that we're going to listen to some of the key messages and who said what and what. But we will look at the key messages based upon all the actors. And that is what we're going to be talking about. And remember that you can watch me on my Facebook and on my YouTube. Either way, you should be able to watch me. But however, there are a lot of things that still remain unanswered vis-a-vis the question of the Southern Cameroon. You know, when the world community ignore the reality, but we will dive into this. Thank you, Divine, for joining in. Thank you, Divine. And so, if you, whatever you are, you're watching. If you're here in the United States, I want to thank you. Thank you, Shay or Paul for joining in. Thank you. Yeah, yes, Samu. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name. I'm sorry. I apologize. And thank you, Peterson, for joining in. If you're watching here in the United States, I want to take a moment to thank all of you. If you are in ground zero, the message is for you. We are speaking about you because of the survival that you need to survive in the advent of corrupted world society. Because it is because of the corrupted world society that we find ourselves in these situations that I am about to talk about. But how can we change the world? How can the world recognize the truth and stand for the truth and avert the atrocity that is happening around the world? And that is why many world communities are suffering, especially those that call underdeveloped community. The underdeveloped community is always the scapegoat. It's the scapegoat of the suffering, whereas the reality deliberately ignored. So, but you might see an images here. These images. I am sure you might be able to read, or if not, I have a copy on my Facebook. But however, this is important questions, and this is what's gonna be the story why we are talking here, and why you're gonna see some images. Those images might be offensive to some individuals, but however, that is the problem that we have, that we're facing, and that is why I am going to be talking about today. And I want to take a moment to thank all of you. If you are in Germany, if you are in Baghdad, if you are in Great Britain, if you are in Germany, if you are in Ground Zero, La Republique, South America, Russia, China. So this is the moment that I'm going to be talking. If you are in Brazil, wherever, South America, Canada, or Great Britain, Germany, entire continental of Europe, wherever you are. So I am going to be talking a very crucial issues about the people of Southern Cameroon that the world has not acknowledge the factual information, and the world deliberately ignore because they choose the wrong over the right. And that is why I am called Fundon Daniel. I am speaking here from the great state of Texas, here in the United States. And I want to thank them, a US citizen, our citizens, citizens of the United States, because the world has deliberately ignored fundamental questions. The world deliberately ignored fundamental questions because they are using their personal interest over the will of the people. And guess what happens? The murdering and slaughtering of civilians. Sometimes when we ask the world, sometimes the world says, what is wrong with Africa? Absolutely nothing is wrong with Africa. But what is wrong with Africa is the dictatorship that foreign international community doesn't respect. This is what I will begin by. This is a vote. Many of you might be seeing some horrible images coming from a southern Cameroon. Sometimes you might hear the name interchange, Federal Republic of Ambazonian. It still refers to one and only one item. In 1961, the United Nations here in the United States, the United Nations, this is the document. In 19, United Nations meeting in United States, not elsewhere. Meeting in United States. The United Nations, which is, you all know, maybe if you don't know what is the United Nations, United Nations was formed after the defeat of Germany. After the Second World War, the Germans were defeated. And when the German was defeated, a United Nations was formed. The purpose was to maintain peace and security throughout the entire planet, throughout the entire human planet. And that is the purpose that the United Nations was formed. Because of the advent of war that occurred, and you will all remember that in the United States, Port Harbor was bombed here in the United States. And that provoked the United States to engage in that war, the Second World War. And when the war ended, a certain body was formed. And the purpose of that body was to maintain peace and security. And peace and security was the paramount goal and objective of the United Nations. And that is why this document represents the people of Southern Cameroon, that it was voted here in the United States in 1961 to recognizing the sovereignty of the people of Southern Cameroon as equal partner, as equal identity, just like La Republique du Cameroun. Their independence was voted in 1960 to recognize them as a nation. And today, you all see the horrific images that is coming from the Southern Cameroon territory. You all see the kind of brutality that is waged on the citizens of the Southern Cameroon, as though nobody is aware of this situation. But I am here to tell you about what is going on. It's because we have a world body that is the most corrupted system after the purpose in which it was formed. So let's begin. For those who are not familiar with Southern Cameroon, Southern Cameroon Southern Cameroon has his own government. Southern Cameroon, because one thing that I'm still diving to the question, they usually meet in Enugu House of Assembly with the Nigeria other House of Assembly. So those are two separate entities that by the time that we're meeting in Enugu House of Assembly, although United Nations hasn't fully recognized it till 1961, but the Southern Cameroon has its own government, its own cabinet, that when they elect their cabinet, they all meet in Enugu House of Assembly. So when the cabinet of the people of Southern Cameroon that were elected, they meet with the Nigerian House of Assembly, because the British administrator was meeting the both nations in Enugu House of Assembly. And that is why the elected representative of the people of Southern Cameroon at the time, prior to 1961, when the United Nations enacted the decision to recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon. So the British administrator, Southern Cameroon, first it was Dr. Endele. Dr. Endele, initially, that was the first prime minister of the Southern Cameroon. And subsequently, you have Jongu Foncha. And after Jongu Foncha, we have Ngunjua. So the purpose of this discussion was that, as you see this symbol, I have it on my Facebook. For those who haven't seen my Facebook, that symbol significantly indicates that the people, the police of Southern Cameroon, Southern Cameroon own his own government, own his own police force. The fact that the world just turned a blind eye for factual information because the people of Southern Cameroon has become a property that must be invaded. But I am here to let the world understand that the people of Southern Cameroon will never succumb to corrupted world body that has paid a deaf ear to recognize factual information and stood for the factual information. So let's go for another symbol again. For those who have, if you're not able to see, this is United Nations. I know I put the symbol. I'm picking each individual because that will be the topic of discussion today. This is a map that presented to Paul Biya, the neighboring country president. The essence of presenting two maps from the United Nations indicate that there are two nations that the United Nations recognize that they are living together. In 1984, this evil dictatorship called Paul Biya of Cameroon single-handedly signed a decree, enraged the people of Southern Cameroon, and placed what is now known today, the Republic of Cameroon. The Republic of Cameroon is an arbitration, enforced and discriminating that Republique under one single individual. This brutal 84 years individual called Paul Biya, in a single-handedly signed a decree, abolished the people of Southern Cameroon, and initiate what now known as La Republique du Cameroun, the Republic of Cameroon, as though the people of Southern Cameroon are not existence. And that is what is leading to what is happening now in our territory. And that is why we must wage a war. We are letting the world community that we will no longer succumb to this rubbish. We will no longer succumb to this rubbish. That's La Republique president. That is the individual. That is Pobia. That is him standing with these images that was presented to him, that the world community, the United Nations, recognized two nations. They recognize two nations that exist and that they haven't, in any circumstances, recognized La Republique as a single nation. And that is why the two mark was presented to this an idiot that they have in La Republique. That is the truth. That this idiot, they call Pobia of La Republique. Because when these two marks of two identical nations present to him, and that is why he abrogately ignored the warning sign. He abrogately ignored the factual information. He abrogately failed to pay attention when these two maps were presented to him. These two maps present to him to acknowledge that the world community, the United Nations, recognized two identical nations that exist. It didn't draw attention to him in particular. Neither did he draw attention to his clique, because the clique of La Republique is made up of a certain group of individuals called the Betis. And that is the people that destroy that nations. But I am here to let the world know that it's time to stand and speak the truth. The people of Southern Cameroon is fighting for their genuine nations. They are not fighting for what is called they are fighting for a genuine their nations. They are not. There is one premise that is going on, stating that the people of Southern Cameroon, when they came together with this, it was under an abrupt understanding that two nations are coming together and that they must have a certain value that must join, that they must have a common understanding. Imagine the Southern Cameroon cannot even speak in La Republique House of Parliament. Southern Cameroon cannot voice. Southern Cameroon cannot speak. Southern Cameroon are always regarded as second-class citizens, as though they have no home of their own. But I am here to let the world that the Southern Cameroon is a nation and that the Southern Cameroon must exist. It's time the world stand. I understand the world, we are living in a world of corrupted society because the United Nations is headed by a corrupted individual. And that image shall come as we proceed. That is the U.S. ambassador to the neighboring country, La Republique, Peter. He stood and denounced that the ongoing slaughtering of the citizens of Southern Cameroon. That is a U.S. ambassador. U.S. ambassador, and he's still the U.S. ambassador. He spoke clearly. For you, if you haven't watched the video, I do have it on my Facebook and on my YouTube. And you listen to the content of his message. Since he spoke, it doesn't draw attention to the neighboring country, La Republique, to pay close attention to the ambassador. But I am here to let the world community that our people will no longer sleep and become a brutal force. We have a certain individual within our own society that has failed to recognize that we are people that we deserve our sovereignty. But because they have their parents, their relatives, their cold habits, that they are romancing with their regime. And that is why they don't want to stand up and speak the truth. And they are among us. They are among us. And those are our enemies. Because they don't fail to recognize that our people, they have been account the architect of bribery, which has become a lady in the United Nations, has also eaten the society. And that society has turned eyes from factual information to unfactual, if that is absolutely a word that exists. We have these individuals within our midst. They have been well corrupted, that there's nothing them to stand and speak the truth. But I am here to let the world that our people has long overdue for the suffering of our people. Our people are long overdue. Let's begin by as you may see these images is the massive killing that occurred in Bali. This is a massive killing that occurred in Bali. For those who are not aware, this is a massive killing that occurred in Bali by La Republique du Cameroun in the southern Cameroon territory. This is Bali. This is a massive killing. This is just one of those massive killings that is going on in the southern Cameroon territory because people in the world have failed absolutely to recognizing factual information. People have failed to recognize factual information. And that is why this massive killing that occurred in Bali is an arbitrary. Remember, when the southern Cameroon was in Enugu House of Assembly in Nigeria, Nigeria has never invaded southern Cameroon. Nigeria has never declared war on southern Cameroon. Nigeria has never, in any circumstance, they recognize us as people. And that is why when we had a debate in the Enugu House of Assembly, it was unilateral relationship that people recognize the people of southern Cameroon and visualize and recognize them as people that can stand for their own good, for their own destiny. And that is why the Enugu House of Assembly, recognizing the people of southern Cameroon as people that have a voice in the Enugu House of Assembly. But in La Republique, the people has no voice because La Republique believe that we are a conquered territory. But I am here to declare to the world, southern Cameroon is not a conquered territory of La Republique. Southern Cameroon is not a conquered territory of La Republique. The people must rise against the enemy. The people must rise against his enemy. Our people are not a conquered territory of La Republique because the world has turned a blind eye because they don't want to accept and acknowledge the truth. Because we have the world that is more corrupted than one has ever imagined. Give me a minute. What I am saying, the fundamental question that the world ignores, the fundamental question that the world ignores to recognize that the people of southern Cameroon are not a conquered territory. The people of southern Cameroon are not a colonial territory. They are people that they deserve to have their own freedom prevailed. Because the world doesn't want to speak the truth. The world choose what they use their own language to suit their own particular occasion. The world choose a language to suit their own particular occasion rather than to acknowledge the factual. When the people of Western Province, as they just recently in every country, lost the presidency because La Republique is the most corrupted system of government. When the Western Province lost the presidency, if the Western Province decide to wage war on La Republique, that is what they call a secessionist. A secessionist because Western province in 1960 was part of La Republique document that was tendered at the United Nations. When the lead to Ram choose to wage war on La Republique, that is a separatist that is fighting to secede. But when the people of Southern Cameroon choose to leave La Republique, they are not secessionists. Please understand and use the language appropriately. You may listen to some of them. As I'm sure going to put them, you listen their messages because they have failed to acknowledge factual and stand for the truth. We will begin by a U.S. representative at the United Nations. Let's begin.
Violence continues to escalate, disrupting vital humanitarian aid for 430,000 IDPs and blocking health and education services worldwide. Mr. President, October was the most violent month on record. Judging anecdotal reports, we fear that November will surpass October as the bloodiest month on record. We don't want to see that forward trend. The violence must stop now. Violence between government and Anglophone separatists has resulted in killings and abductions of civilians, including the U.S. fisherman who was killed on October 30th. Faced with mounting insecurity, tens of thousands of Cameroonians fled to neighboring Nigeria and Sudan, while hundreds of thousands have been internally displaced from humanitarian assistance. The stakes in Cameroon are too high for this crisis to continue unaddressed. Cameroon remains an essential security partner in the fight against Boko Haram and the Islamic State in West Africa, including as a member of the multinational Joint Task Force. The continuing crisis threatens to impact on mutual security objectives and challenges. Mr. President, the United States calls for an immediate and broad-based conciliatory dialogue to help the conditions between the government of Cameroon and separatists in the Northwest and Southwest regions. We urge all sides to restore violence, to restore peace, We note that in his inaugural address on November 6th, President Biya expressed confidence
I'm sorry for the poor images for that. I can't enlarge it. But this is the U.S. representative at the United Nations. Let's look at
the creation of the government-led humanitarian assistance coordination. There's tremendous interest within all branches of the U.S. government towards this crisis, the United States is greatly concerned with what's going on in Cameroon. We consider Cameroon a long-term friend. We consider it essential for the stability in that region of Africa. As we all know, Cameroon has tremendous potential. It has phenomenal natural resources, has a highly educated, industrious, entrepreneurial population.
That is the United States Undersecretary for African Affairs. So United States is faced with dilemma. So United States is faced with dilemma. Because the question is the relationship that is ongoing, which he echoed, the relationship that is ongoing with the neighboring country, La Republique, and vis-a-vis the Boko Haram. You all know that the United States Department of Defense suspend military equipment to La Republique. And they suspend their dealing with La Republique. That's the United States Department of Defense in collaboration with what La Republique is going. But what I want to let you know too, that the equipment that the United States Department of Defense gave to La Republique over Boko Haram are now being used in Southern Cameroon territory. The equipment that the United States Department of Defense gave to La Republique, because when the United States Department of Defense pulled out, they did not pull out the equipment, and that equipment is what is being used in the Southern Cameroon territory. That is why initially I present the United Nations document. That document of 1961, that is the purpose that I posted it earlier. Let's listen to what he says here.
We could easily rocket forward in progress and prosperity and stability. So because of that, the United States is greatly concerned with events there. And the frustrating thing is a lot of this was needless. As I said, we all know the history. We all know where this is coming from. The Anglophone population of Cameroon would very much like to see.
We all know the history. We know all what happened. We know that the U.S. Undersecretary for African Affairs speaking the truth about what is going on in Southern Cameroon. The people of Southern Cameroon was never a conquered territory of the neighboring country, La Republique. The people of Southern Cameroon was never a colonial territory of the neighboring country, La Republique. We simply come together under equal identity, under equal status. The fact that we have, our people has chosen bribery and corruption over the sovereignty of a nation. And many of us are here in the United States. We don't want to acknowledge the factor. We don't want to speak up. We just want to be frightened because we grow in a habit, in a world of La Republique military oppressive system, and that we are so oppressed in such a way that we can't even open our voice. We can't speak up, even though we are all shielded here in this wonderful great nations. Even though we read the history of this wonderful nation, even though we understand how they became a nation, even though we know, but we don't want to speak up. We want to be frightened because either part of our brothers and some are dying with the system. And that is why we don't want to speak up. We want to ignore the factual informations. And why our brothers and sisters, like what you saw in Bali and what may be happening now in Libya, as you all don't want to stand up and say no to La Republique, because we are frightened. We are frightened. We have been treated in such a way that we can even voice ourselves and speak up and say no to La Republique. We don't want to. We want to stay. So let's let go. But this is not the time to let go. This is the time to stand for the ground that our people must deserve their own freedom. We will not allow the world to turn its blind over our people. But that is why I am here speaking up. And I urge you to join me. That let's stand up and speak up. That is the U.S. Undersecretary that is speaking about the people of Southern Cameroon. That they all are aware of the history. But yet, United Nations, the most corrupted organization on this planet, doesn't want to stand up and acknowledge the truth. We don't want to acknowledge the truth. We don't. We don't want to acknowledge the truth. That is the U.S. Undersecretary for African Affairs. Let's look at what British is also speaking of. Let's look. That is the British ambassador to the United Nations.
Many positive contributions Cameroon is making to stability in the region, including their continued commitment to the fight against Boko Haram and the sanctuary Cameroon offers to refugees from Nigeria and the Central African Republic. However, we are concerned by the reality of the rapidly deteriorating security and humanitarian situation in the northwest and southwest regions.
That is the British representative at the United Nations. You all know that's the British ambassador to the United Nations. Because when the Southern Cameroon was voted at the United Nations, as I earlier showed, 64 nations voted for recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon. When the La Republique under this brutal dictatorship, Paul Biya, in a single-handedly erased the entire people of Southern Cameroon and declared La Republique. And that is the British ambassador speaking as though they are not aware of the true fact. The US representative were more clear in his message, but this has failed to acknowledge that the people of Southern Cameroon is part of what the British messed up, and he couldn't stand and speak up at the United Nations. He simply re-echoed the message of La Republique rather than the message of the people of Southern Cameroon. That is the British ambassador at the United Nations. That's the British ambassador. Those are part of the conspiracy theory that are not meant. The people of Southern Cameroon are not a colonial territory. When the British administrator at Enugu House of Assembly did not have La Republique as Enugu House of Assembly, when the British representative at the Enugu House of Assembly in Nigeria did not have La Republique, it was the people of Southern Cameroon. And that is what the corrupted world body that we have, that he fails to acknowledge that the relationship that existed between the British and the people of Southern Cameroon. Instead, he's talking about Boko Haram with La Republique. Of course, he will talk about the natural gas. He's talking about La Republique rather than the natural relationship that existed between the people of Southern Cameroon and the Queen of England. But he's speaking, and as though you see how the world treats factual information for ignorance. That is the British ambassador to the United Nations. Let's listen to what he has to say.
In particular, we are concerned about high levels of displacement and take very seriously Galani's warning. This is now one of the fastest growing displacement crises in Africa, and reports of human rights violations and abuses perpetrated by armed separatist groups and government forces, including extradition.
That is, you see, when the world one will expect them to be very genuine people in this society. He called the Anglo-separatists, the Anglophone separatists, separating from who? That is why initially I showed you the document of the United Nations. So when the people of Southern Cameroon, as a sovereign entity, 64 nations vote to recognize the people of Southern Cameroon. They have the right to their freedom. They have the right to their liberty. They have the right to choose their destiny. And they have the right to fight whatever atrocity. If If the people of Western Province is fighting to leave La Republique, that is where that word separatist can be immediately implemented. When the people of Western Province, when the people of Littoral, why I mention the people of Western Province? Because they just won an election. Professor Maurice Kanto won an election. It was cancelled. Let's say Professor Maurice Kanto's people of Western Province choose to wage a war in La Republique. That is what they call a separatist, because they're separating. Because in 1960, when the document of La Republique was tendered at the United Nations, they were part of that document. But when the people of South Africa tender, when the British administrator tendered in 1960 at the United Nations headquarters, La Republique was not part of the document. How dare you call the separatists? That is why you call the separatists. Who is now the separatists? Because they failed. That is the world body that they're filled with corruption. They're filled with corruption. They don't want to accept the reality. That is the British ambassador speaking wrong language as though they are not even. That is why have a well-educated person to lead the British than having this idiot to lead the United Nations and having this, because they fail to speak the reality. Who is the separatist? Who is the separatist? Because the world don't want to accept the reality. The world don't want to acknowledge the reality. That is why they call the separatists. Because the British, under the current Prime Minister Theresa May, they don't want to acknowledge. They don't want to speak up. They don't want to stand for the truth. They want to twist the story. Let's listen again.
Other killings, abductions, restrictions of movements, and access to health and education restrictions as described in the Secretary General's report. We must always be alert, colleagues, to the risk that the situation escalates, affecting the broader peace and central region. We have already seen it.
Let's listen to that. The British uneducated individual at the helm of the British at the United Nations. Let's read what another British at Parliament speak up, and let's compare the differences. Because when you have this individual at the face of the United Nations to speak up wrong, and that is why our people are being murdered each day, each night by La Republique, because they are taking advantage, because they can't stand up for the truth. They can't stand up for the truth.
On the 7th of June this year, the Guardian newspaper ran a special feature on the brutal campaign of violence by the regime of Cameroon's President Biya against English-speaking communities in the west of the country, which was formerly known as British Cameroon.
Exactly.
We owe a historic.
That is a truth. That is the truth. That is a British person speaking at the Parliament. That is a British person speaking at the Parliament. But the other person did not acknowledge that the people of South Africa don't even exist. That is a youthful ambassador they have, whether who appoints her, Theresa May. That is at the head of the British and the United Nations, because he is ignorant. He lacks coherent information about the people of Southern Cameroon. Now you listen to another member of the British Parliament speaking, what in the House of Commons. He acknowledged, she acknowledged the truth, and that is why she spoke about it. Whereas the youth wing of the British to the United Nations, that the system has already been corrupted. Once you enter the United Nations here in New York, the system is already corrupted. You become part of the corrupted system. You become part of the corrupted system. Now listen to the British member of House of Commons of Parliament. Listen. Their village attacked by their military.
Now, by any normal moral standard, you would expect the UK government to read those reports and be appalled.
And you know the government she's referring to, the government of Theresa May, that appointed a youthful individual at the head of the United Nations, that is the most corrupted organization. And he sat by, acknowledged the Boko Haram, and failed in every circumstances to acknowledge the relationship that existed between the people of Southern Cameroon and the British government. And that is why the British Parliament, you should have learned got this message from this British House of Commons before even going to read the rubbish at the United Nations. That is what they call the reading the rubbish at the United Nations. That's part of Theresa May's government because they failed wholeheartedly. Let's listen to another. Let's listen to her again.
The next day, after that report was published, the British Trade Secretary announced a 1.5.
After the incident, when La Republique invaded, burned the homes of Southern Cameroon. That is not my message. That is the British member of Commons speaking. After the homes were burned, the British government, under the current Theresa May, acknowledged a deal of gas natural exploration with La Republique, and there is circumstances say it's going to create a number of jobs. As though Theresa May government is not aware of the fact that existed between the people of Southern Cameroon and the UK government. Let's listen to her.
With a British national gas company and President Blair's regime, a deal which, in the words of the Trade Department's press release, will, quote, generate a huge stream of revenue for Cameroon's public treasury. In other words, we have a regime ranked as the 25th most corrupt in the world, a ruler in his 43rd year of autocratic power, with a personal wealth of over $200 million, engaged in a systematic campaign of brutality and violence against English-speaking communities in this country. All the government is boast of doing trade deals which will only enrich him further.
Theresa May is booster of his trade deal. She's more concerned about his trade deal rather than the people of Southern Cameroon. Let's listen to another British member of parliament. It seems Theresa May has a certain cabinet that is not even aware of reality. That is not even aware of reality. Let's listen to another member of parliament.
Amnesty reports that 450 to 500 civilians and 185 members of the security services have been killed. UNICEF estimates that 58 schools have been destroyed, 47 political leaders are being held without charge. The recent Amnesty report refers to, I quote, arbitrary arrests, torture, unlawful killings, and the destruction of property. The Catholic Bishops' Conference has called it, quote, inhuman, blind, monstrous violence. And of the October election, Archbishop Samuel Cleaver leads.
I have more of those videos on my Facebook and on my YouTube. If you want to listen to them, you can listen to them. That is the British UK representative. Then let's look at this image that I'm going to show you. That is Southern Cameroon. That is Southern Cameroon that is being tortured by a neighboring country that has no legitimacy over the people of Southern Cameroon. That may be offensive. That torture. That is La Republique. That is La Republique military. And look the crude methods that they use over the citizens of our people, of our Southern Cameroon, of our people. You can listen the agony and the experiences he's going through. And you can listen. The content of the language is French. I think you watch. I think you watch. You watch those images. That is Southern Cameroon. That's La Republique military. That is La Republique military. That's the torture of our citizens. That's why I begin by showing the document of 1961 of the United Nations vote to recognizing the sovereignty of the people of Southern Cameroon. That is why the world has turned a blind eye, because the world doesn't want to recognize the truth. Because the world doesn't want to recognize the truth. That is why our people become undergoing that excruciating suffering. Because of the terrorist government of the Republic, the world turned a blind eye, as though nothing is happening. Why should we? There are nations in this planet that they are not up to the population of our people of Southern Cameroon. There are nations in this world that the population is not up to the people of Southern Cameroon. Yet they exist. What grounds does it show that we must live together with La Republique? And what circumstances must we live together with La Republique? And what terms must we live together with La Republique? Why can't we govern ourselves? That is the fundamental question that we have in this world planet. Why? Why can't the people govern themselves? Why can't they have their own government? Why can't they initiate their own government? That is the fundamental question. Why should they be going through this torture? Why should they be living in the forest? Why should they be living on this tortured world? That is the fundamental question that we ask the world community. Why? Why? And yet we haven't got an answer yet. That document that was voted in 1961 to recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon as a sovereign nation. Why must they undergo this excruciating pain and torture? Because the world seems to turn a blind eye. Because the world is led by the most brutal, corrupted officials in this planet. As I earlier showed you, this is in Bali. Because why I am talking about Bali? Because there are a certain group of individuals called the Bali elites. There are certain individuals that they call the Bali elites. They would have used a sound and meaningful judgment. They call the Bali elites. Because you always have them in our midst. They call them the elites. We don't know how they get their name, the elites, because they happen to have a certain amount of money in their pocket. And that is why they can call themselves the elites. Because as though the people are not elites. Every citizen is elite of them because they contribute every little thing to the journey of a nation. Even if he's a housekeeper, even if he's a toilet cleaner, even if he is a toilet digger, even if he works on the street, he is still an elite. It doesn't matter. It's not because of the amount of money you have that you claim to be elite. Any individual is an elite so long as he shares the same value, the same identity. That is why they discriminate. Everyone has a voice to speak up. Everyone has equal one vote. Because when it comes in terms of vote, the elite doesn't have double vote. The elite vote equally as the ordinary citizen that is a toilet cleaner. So every Southern Cameroon has a voice to stand up over his own identity. Because these self-proclaimed elites, they claim to be from Bali. They claim to be from Bali. And if they have watched these images that La Republique military perpetrated slaughtering these children, and when they learned, they used gas, spread, and these children were dead. And they learned about it and went and burned their dead body. I said, I'm going to be showing you. And they claim And they will have a voice and audacity to claim that they are the enemies. And they still carry on the perpetrating, collaborating with the enemy and ignore the fundamental question. Who are we? Who are we? This is Bali. This from Bali. For those of you who haven't known, this is the children that were slaughtered by gas and they died by La Republique. And you expect me to collaborate and say, I want to be with La Republique. And I see these images of my brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter whether they're from the village I came from. If they are from Bali, I know that I have friends, relatives that they are from Bali. And I see, and I know each of them has identical relationship with what happened by La Republique military in southern Cameroon. And yet the world hasn't acknowledged. Just imagine this individual had occurred in Europe. The European would have turned upside down. Imagine this happened in Europe. United Nations session would have been occurred in the next day. British Parliament would have been holding session in the next day. The French government would have held Parliament in the next day. European Union would have held session in the next day. But since it's happening in Africa, it's less concerned. This is the massacre that was perpetrated by La Republique du Cameroun. Yet they see a relationship that coexists between the people of Southern Cameroon and the neighboring country, La Republique. Just imagine this happened in Europe. United Nations session would have been called in 24 hours. United Nations would have been in sessions. The European Parliament would have been in sessions immediately to discuss about this. The European Parliament in session would have been immediately to discuss about this. The German Parliament would have been in session. The British Parliament would have been in session. French government would have been in session. The entire Europe would have been in session. But it happened in a third world country. And one would expect the British government, despite the relationship that existed between the people of Southern Cameroon, it means nothing to them. But what they mean to them is the natural gas exploitation that Theresa May government has a lot of potential with La Republique. It's the natural gas potential that Theresa May government has a better relationship with La Republique over the lives of the people of Southern Cameroon. You all saw the images that I just showed to you. When I broadcast that the people of Southern Cameroon, let me go back to the video, what I broadcast, and then you listen, then I come back to these images. Take a moment. That is the message I broadcast about the burning of Mbali, that the use of gas by the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroun. That's the video. I have it on my YouTube, so you can watch it. That's the video I broadcast. It's the video that I broadcast about using gas by La Republique du Cameroun. And when I broadcast that video, they went ahead and burnt those images that you saw initially. They went and burnt them. That's Bali. And that is why if you are from Bali, and I am speaking to you, that you initiate La Republique and collaborating with La Republique over your own people. I mean, it is quite embarrassing. It is quite embarrassing that you are from Bali and you claim to be elite, as you claim, because you have a little money in your pocket. That when you travel to Bali and then they roam around you and then you give to them, you believe you are the elites and the citizens. That is what you get. And it doesn't occur to you. And even if you are a dumb, you would have understand that this is the time I need to join my people over the enemy, because money is the most corrupted thing that people choose over his own people. And that is why I am here to let you know. As I'm speaking here, the same is happening in Lebialan. For us who live in Lebialan, why I am speaking this to the world community is happening in Lebialan. But I will urge the British government what they should do to immediately recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon. That the British government is time to recognize that the people of Southern Cameroon no longer need the Republic in this moment. If you have ever watched what is happening in the Southern Cameroon territory, if you are in the British government, if you are a German government, if you are a European government, you will immediately recognize that the people of Southern Cameroon have got enough of La Republique. The people have got enough of La Republique. They want to have a peace in the home they claim to belongs to them. They no longer need La Republique in any circumstances. Why will you think the people of Southern Cameroon will want to associate with La Republique? And if you see these images, children of a human being burnt alive by the most terrorist dreaded government of La Republique. And you, as a body, sons and daughters, and you claim to be elites, and then you belong to the elites, and then you will associate yourself with La Republique, then something must be wrong with you. Something must be wrong with you. Something must be wrong with you. Something must be wrong. Something must be wrong. If you see these images and you claim that you are the elites of the body and you're having this because our people are moving ahead, why must we live together with La Republique? For what? Why? Why can't we remain as a nation? Why should our citizens be roasted? Be roasted. Why? Why should our people be roasted? Why? And if you look the remote causes why they are rushing, because La Republique has counterfeit that they printed from China. La Republique has counterfeit they printed from China, and that is why they are rushing to La Republique to accept the counterfeit that La Republique printed from China called monetary value. And that is why every elite is rushing to La Republique, because they want to go and collect part of the counterfeit that La Republique has printed and ready to be distributed. Yes, That is the people they want to choose. But I here have that my people will live or die. My people will live or die. La Republique. I can assure you, I am letting La Republique understand that their days are numbered. Gaddafi never survived. Gaddafi never survived. Even though he has a good intention, his people will never be in these circumstances, even though he has good intentions. But yet, Gaddafi did not survive. But I am here to assure you, Mr. Bia, that 2019 might be the last day for you. Mr. Bia, I can assure you that 2019 might be the last day for you, and including your followers. I can assure you that 2019 is have a few days to begin, that it might not end with you. I can assure you, so long as I grow here I live in this wonderful nation on the planet, there, I can assure you that the nation you call United States is not the corrupted world that you think to be. But I can assure you that 2019, your days might be numbered, including your kids. I can assure you, take this my message. My message is in YouTube. So you can watch it over and over, Mr. Beer. That 2019, it may be the longest day. It may not end you up. I can assure you. You can have all the shield of the military of La Republique, but they are the least of my concern. But I can assure you that 2019 might not end you in your office. Choose to do the right thing, or you choose to face the reality. But Gaddafi has the most well-advanced military weapon that La Republique has not even. Gaddafi has the most advanced military than any other nation in Africa, but he did not survive his military. But I can assure you that what you have is the least. But when the United States turn, 2019 might not end you up. I can assure you. Believe me. So long as I breathe this natural air in this most amazing nation on the planet, this is U.S. missionary. This is a U.S. missionary. The U.S. missionary fell in love in the people of Southern Cameroon. He fell in love. He loved the people of Southern Cameroon. He loved them so dearly. He chose all his children and relocate in the Southern Cameroon territory. His intentions, excellent. His goal, he fell in love with the people of Southern Cameroon. And he chose to relocate his family. All the benefit and the wonderful things that we have in this most advanced nation on the planet. But he chose a place, Southern Cameroon. Southern Cameroon was his destination that he chose. But we have a terrorist government of La Republique military that is currently terrorizing our people. One asks, why are they doing in Southern Cameroon? We don't have an answer. Why can our people be governed? Today, his blood will never last in vain. Bia's blood will come and water their blood and let them be safe wherever they go, because the Lord will protect Charles Wesco until the Bia's blood go water down. Then Bia learn to know that Charles Wesco blood will never go in vain until you sacrifice yours and understand the painful how the family of Charles Wesco are feeling. Take me note. Quote my word. I have a message on YouTube. Listen over and over.
scares me. The passion to make Buea happen is so real that somehow naively celebrate. I say naively because it takes two to tango. The decision to go to Buea is a Republic Council. We ask all of us to have that things and what to do. But we know that this decision was not depend on the Republic Council alone. I said yesterday a couple of days ago, if somebody barges into your house, forces you out of your house, takes that house, and stays there for 10 years, or 15 years, or 20 years, does that house belong to the person that is inside the house? Even if the person stays in your house for 56 years, the house is still your house. That's where we find ourselves. We find ourselves in a situation where somebody carefully walked into our house, practically 10,000 to servants without our very help.
This is Southern Cameroon representative. You all watch the images. That is Ayok Seseko. That's the interim president of the Southern Cameroon. Every individual of Southern Cameroon has the right to question the relationship with La Republique du Cameroun. Imagine that during the Enugu House of Assembly, if Funcha, if Mundra, if all those cabinets travel to Nigeria and the Nigerian authority arrest them and put in jail as La Republique did with our interim cabinet. Imagine. La Republique has no legal authority over the sovereignty of the people of Southern Cameroon. La Republique has no legal authority over the people of Southern Cameroon. La Republique has no legal authority. Every citizen of Southern Cameroon has a right to question the relationship with La Republique du Cameroun. And La Republique has an obligation to respond. But when our people travel to Enugu House of Assembly in Nigeria, Nigerian government did not arrest them. They were able to travel there and discuss about the issues affecting Southern Cameroon under the British administrator. They are able to return home. La Republique, the Nigerian authority, has never interrogated them in whatsoever. And they've been dealing with Nigeria during the period that the British administrator was residing in Nigeria. They have never been questioned. But we have a useless nation that we still study whether we can live together. But yet, our people have been adopted from Nigeria, and they use the world want to turn a blind eye over our people. Because corruption is what leading the world. Ignore the fundamental truth. But I am here to let the world know that as our people continue to bleed, La Republique, we're going to be bleeding as well. As our people is bleeding, La Republique is going to be bleeding as well. Fellow brothers and sisters, the corrupted individuals that have been penetrated within the Southern Cameroon territory and they claim to be an Anglophone and that they are carrying on bribery, the counterfeits that are printed from Nigeria and they print from China and they are distributing within you. If you pick anything from La Republique, then you might be picking the wrong thing. Our people is beyond counterfeit that is printed from China. Our people has a home. They ought to live in their home. They don't ought to have a counterfeit that is being brought in from China. From China. For those individuals, give me the reason why you think we should live together with La Republique. Give me a genuine reason. Give me factual, genuine reason. The CDC that the British government invested for the Southern Cameroon, that La Republique is gaining profit from it. Is that what you want to tell me? The power camp, the Southern Cameroon power camp, the Bank of Southern Cameroon, that La Republique liquidates and dump it with them. Is that what you want to speak to me? The road network in southern Cameroon that were being constructed, that all the equipment was immediately transferred to Yaoundé and started renting back to the southern Cameroon with the money they adopted. Is that what you want to speak to me? Hmm? The corrupted system. Why can't we stay alone? That's the fundamental questions. Fellow brothers and sisters, this is the beginning of the Waterloo. Our interim government cabinet have been put in jail in a nation that has no legal authority over our people. Ayuk Tabi, our citizens that are being adopted by a terrorist government, and that is what you want to tell me the world, that I should recognize La Republique and that we should live together with La Republique. And on what terms should we live with La Republique? But I am here to tell the world that our people has bypassed all those levels and that they have overcome. But I can assure you that, fellow brothers and sisters, we are at war. We must fight the enemy. For those who choose to sacrifice and to romance with the system, I owe you dearly. God bless you, people of Southern Cameroon. We are together in this business. Good night.